Vigilance, a talent that needs zero introduction. But for those who don't know, it provides you with an instant 25% weapon damage buff. The Liberty Exotic Pistol, a weapon that increases your damage every time an enemy is shot up to 60%, which adds on to the 25% you're already dealing. A chest piece talent that is very risky, but so worth the reward, because with it, the damage increases to another 25%. But this time, it's amplified, and it not only deals weapon damage, but skill damage as well. All of this while possessing 100% damage immunity as long as you choose. How could something like this be so dominant? Well, I'm here to tell you that it's real. The purpose of this build is to be a formidable tank that effortlessly deals insane damage while possessing the capability to utilize very powerful skills at their full potential. A 3-in-1 hybrid which can only be accomplished this way. This concept is so solid that it stood the test of time. Made 4 years ago and has never wavered in relevancy, so I had to bring it back, but naturally with a few changes due to the new gear we've gotten over the years, this only made it better. Now let me stop talking and show you what I've got, because I know you're anxious. Let me first begin with the specialization. It's Technician, the best specialization for hybrid builds and for conquering legendary missions. The perk Dismantling helps destroy enemy robotics and skill proxies, so this is great against the Black Tusk. Be sure to have pistol damage selected for the damage type, because that's the weapon you'll be using 90% of the time. It's called the Liberty Exotic Pistol. This weapon is amazing. Every shot to the body gives you a 2% stack of weapon damage that goes all the way up to 30, which equals 60% when maxed. If you then shoot an enemy in the head, you will consume this stack, healing your shield up to 100% depending on the amount of stacks you've gained. Now listen up, because this is crazy. The Bulwark Shield with a Vigilance talent is one of the craziest combos I've ever seen. Because, get this, Vigilance doesn't work while you're receiving damage. It's useless. But with this, Vigilance is active 100% of the time. For as long as you're behind that shield, you will be 100% protected, therefore allowing Vigilance to stay up. This talent not only protects you from incoming weapon damage, but also status effects. Check this out. If you're facing the enemy with the shield up and happen to get afflicted with burn, for example, as you can see here, Vigilance does not deactivate. It never goes away. This is crazy, and I'm really starting to get addicted to it. I'm sure you get the picture. But the attributes for this build are headshot damage and skill damage, with everything rolled to skill tiers. That's why for the backpack brand piece, I'm using Providence for the headshot damage it offers. And of course, I had to get the named Punch Drunk Mask, 20% headshot damage with a skill damage roll. By the way, this build has a lot of named pieces you're about to see. And the Punch Drunk Mask is great for this build because D&H offers pistol damage for its brand. And Fox's Prayer knee pads roll to a skill tier with a headshot damage roll. And so the damage is pretty much out of the way. I'm not all the way finished talking about it. But let's talk about why this is so formidable. Empress International is one of the later brand set pieces that I was referring to earlier. I'm using it specifically for its 10% skill health for my Bulwark Shield. Remember, despite what attribute rolls I have, you want skill damage and headshot damage rolled. And the talent on here is incredible with this build, especially Glass Cannon. 25% amplified weapon and skill damage. The description states that you receive 60% amplified damage if you're willing to make that sacrifice. But here's the thing, you won't be. You barely even ever receive that damage because your shield won't allow it. Another named piece of gear, the holster called Forge, 50% shield health with your choice of a secondary attribute, either headshot or skill damage. The R&K brand set already comes as a skill tier, so this should be easy. And finally, the named ophthalmic gloves called Motherly Love for more skill health. These pieces of gear will help your shield be formidable as ever, allowing you to comfortably coast through all content. For the skills, I'm using the Bulwark, but I don't need the Artificer Hive that everyone uses to help their shield stay up. That's what the Liberty pistol is for. And this is going to take a little bit of skill and accuracy, because if you want your shield to heal, you're going to have to accurately land a headshot once your stacks are full, and this can possibly heal it up to 100%. So with that being said, for the other skill, I use the Striker Drone to give me more of an advantage in the DPS area. With the 6 tiers of skill along with the skill damage rolls, this build is dominating as ever. One more thing. In legendary missions, I like to use the Carbine 7 as a secondary to the Liberty so that I can deal with those mini tanks. They're kind of difficult to deal with considering that they dish out all that damage. So I use the health damage that's baked into all assault rifles to help me melt them quickly. And Sync doubles your skill and weapon damage, so it's a great talent to use. Everything else is a victim to the Liberty though. I've been having so much fun with this build, and I want you to tell me what you think of it down below. This is also very strong in PvP, by the way, especially since now the opponent is required to have at least 3 skill tiers to disrupt my 6-tier skill. This eliminates the necessity to have hazard protection rolled in order to defend against something like that. Anyways, here are the stats, and look at the headshot damage. It's crazy for a pistol. Not much else to show on this build, but if it helped you out in any way, I'd appreciate a like on the video. Also subscribe if you're new here. I'll see you in the next one. Be right out.